I hate that I came on here and have to ask y'all to assist me, but I'm doing it and I am doing it. I have a GoFundMe. I'm asking for anybody to help me and my children so I won't become homeless. I finally got accepted to public housing. After 6 years being on the list, me and my children were finally accepted, but I got an eviction on my name from Barada Properties. With Barada Properties, I owed them $2,000 and something. They evicted me when I was pregnant with my child. I stopped working, so I couldn't pay my rent. I ain't had no help. And then when I tried to get assistance, they wouldn't take my assistance. And now, where I stay in a house that my mother got me, who is now deceased. I just received a 5-day notice for this house because I couldn't pay my rent because my income was too short because I got fired unexpectedly by my client. I was a personal care worker. With that half, I got me a Uber car thinking that was going to help me, but it didn't. I got one of those zip cars, which I had to pay every day, and it pretty much broke me, and I made nothing out of the deal. Now I'm in a situation where I couldn't pay my rent. It's 900 and some if I'm late. I'm just in a dilemma all over the place, and I just do not want my children to go homeless. This rent situation is just an add-on because I got grief I'm dealing with behind my closest ones I lost. My mother and my cousin that was like a brother. If anybody can feel it in their heart to bless me and my children, I know my time is coming.
I love it when people like her say, I know my time is coming, meaning that the riches are going to be poured upon them in some way because the spirit world set it up that way. And they're just going through this hard time right now. But by God, if they continue to sit and do nothing, their time shall come. Okay. Sometimes I think the TikTok beggars make sure to film with all the kids in the background to have it heighten and enhance the emotion of, oh my goodness, listen to all those children. They may be going hungry and homeless because you can't tell me the only time you can record. You've got time to procreate all these kids. You can't tell me the only time you have to record is when all the kids are making the most noise, but I digress. 6 years on the housing waiting list. Oh, and yes, I changed my chair to black. I think it looks kind of sharp. 6 years on the housing waiting list. How come they don't have the same persistence in getting a job? Never have I heard on a TikTok begging show, or I should say a TikToker that is begging, saying, you know what? I was on the waiting list for 5, 6 years. And then during those 5, 6 years, I realized that if I stopped having kids and dealt with the ones I already have, took really good care of them, perhaps stopped dating for a while, focused on the kids that I have to raise, that I could work really, really hard, get a job, and I don't need to be on the housing waiting list for half a decade. I can do this myself. This is over half a decade. But yet they don't do that for whatever reason. And she kind of said it at the end. She wants her piece of the pie. That's the bottom line. She says her rent $800, $900 a month. And she wants her piece of the pie. She's been on this housing waiting list for 6 years, and by God, she wants it. She uses the death of family members. My mama died, my cousin died. God rest their soul. All right. But using that for sympathy, I know her lip sync was slightly off. That's her, not me. She says she also has an eviction, $2,000 eviction. And why will the landlord not accept her housing assistance? Because she has an eviction. The landlord also sees this is a single mom here with all these kids, and it's just going to be a headache. I think it's going to be harder and harder for low income people to start finding landlords that will accept Section 8 because of all the headaches that come with it. How is it that she has money to try to do, what is it? Not an Uber car ride, but Turo, whatever it is. She spent her money on trying to rent a car. I don't remember what it's called. and it didn't work. How is it you have the money to experiment with self-employment? And let's face it, that's what she was aiming for. How do you have the money to do that, but you don't have the money to pay rent? So in other words, she had the money to risk, hey, let's do this drive around, zip, I think is what it's called, zip around car a day, and let's see if that works. When you're a broke ass, and it doesn't matter if you're a single parent, lots of kids, no kids, doesn't matter if you're single. I've been a broke ass, all right? When you're a broke ass, you absolutely do not have the money to risk. That is basically somewhat lazy self-employment. And the reason I call a lot of these driving jobs, not all the people, okay, lazy self-employment, when it comes from people like her, she really doesn't want to work. Now there are people out there door dashing and lifting, and they working hard, okay? They're not looking for the easiest way out. Because to me, that's not an easy way out. But then you've got the crowd, they just really don't want to work. Like, people make those 9 to 5 videos. I just hate working. I'm going to go ahead and drive for Lyft and Uber. And then they realize it doesn't make the money that they thought. So she talks about her mom's death, and she's living in her mom's house and she couldn't even pay that rent, which means her mom didn't have money either. So we are possibly looking at generational poverty.
I'm by myself for the most part. I ain't got nobody at all but the Lord above. My children's dad, they're irrelevant and no.
Yes, because she picked the men so carefully, and she said, my children's dads, plural. Self-inflicted.
Point of mentioning them, it is what it is. I just need to get this house and situating it. I don't want to miss out on my public at all. I want that opportunity like everybody else got it. For years I've been paying every house I stayed in, I had to pay 800 something or more. I'm tired of that.
She's tired of paying rent, family. She's tired of it. She wants her piece of the pie. This, when people sit and say that there is a problem in the welfare section, this is what they're talking about. When people say, you know what, we need to get people off of EBT limit or limit them for 2 years. I understand hardships. I totally get it. But this lady is what they're talking about. She would rather sit for 6 years and do nothing to improve her situation because she feels she is owed some free rent. And here's what I think she fails to understand. One, and I think she's beginning to realize it, it's going to be really, really hard to get someone to rent to you. And you already have an eviction on your record. And a lot of landlords don't want Section 8. Please remember, for those who are unfamiliar, just because you have a housing voucher does not mean people have to take it. But this is what people are talking about when they talk about the entitlement. She has sat there for 6 years and she's like, I've been expected to pay $800 a month rent. And then I think she said earlier, $900 if it's late. And I'm tired of it. Like everybody else pays rent, pays a mortgage.
I'm just one person. You know what I'm saying?
Today's a little
dry begging.
Difficult. I'm trying to get everything done with the transmission, and it's a little more expensive than I thought it would be, but I had to go ahead and do all that. So
like a responsible adult when you have transmission tranny problems, right?
Now I'm just trying to figure some stuff out so I can do the training and everything with Amazon. Baker is at my sister's house. She's getting them groomed today.
This beggar has a dogs and she's getting, or a dog, and doggy is undergoing grooming. You are not broke. And again, this is dry begging. She's really asking for money and she's playing the pity party of, well, I got to get this thing fixed on my car because if I can't get this fixed on my car, then how am I supposed to get to my Amazon job? I wonder, what will I ever do? I guess I'll sit here and talk into the camera.
Step forward, one step forward. I'm at a shelter because I have nowhere to go. I asked my grandmother.
You asked? Okay.
If I could stay with her. She said no. She's 83. I'm like, how come I can't stay with you? I stayed with you before. But she didn't want me to stay with her, and I don't know why. I guess she don't want me to be a burden to her, or whatever. But it's like me be a burden to you? I actually care about you, Grandma. I can help you, Grandma. But whatever.
No, you can't help 83-year-old grandma. 83-year-old grandma knows what you are like. She loves you too. She sends her well regards. She has no desire to share her space any longer in her most twilight years. It doesn't matter if you love her, doesn't matter if you send her a card for Christmas. She doesn't want your broke behind that got an eviction, because I saw her, because this gal had a prior video and I saw that before I chose this one. She doesn't want your broke behind there. It don't matter. She has the right to rest. She has the right to lay down her head every night in peace and not wonder what her great grandchildren are doing or her grandchildren. She don't want to deal with it.
And then I asked my sibling if I could stay with her. She said no because she's on housing.
Generational poverty.
It is what it is.
Yes, I created a GoFundMe
Of course you did.
to try to get help for my rent because of me losing my job. I got another job, so all of you people in the comments talking about get a job, I have a job. The job is not going to start full-time hours until next week on Monday. So,
Get another job.
therefore, that'll be 4 weeks that I haven't had a paycheck. Instead of bullying someone and bringing them down when they're already on the floor, just scroll.
You ain't got nothing nice to say. You just keep on scrolling.
Why is that so hard? Why is it so hard for you to just scroll?
It's as hard for us to scroll as it is difficult for these beggars to go get a job. And when you got 4 weeks to kill, you go get another job.
I guess if I was a little bit prettier to look at, the comments would be a little bit different, but
Now you're hitting the nail on the head.